I want you to ask yourself one question this morning. Is my faith private? Is my faith private? The way we answer that question changes everything. For many folks, faith is private. It is something that they have, they do, they keep to themselves, they don't share with others. It is not just personal, but something that stays in the interior. I don't think that that is the faith of the Bible. I don't think that's the faith that we call Christianity. I don't think that even if someone is a follower of another religion, that can be called faith at all. Faith is something that we embody, that we live into, that we share, that is part of a collective of people. It cannot just be personal, and I do not believe that it can be private. Faith, by nature of the definition of what it is public. It is something that you are embodying and fleshing in your being and living out as you go throughout your day, as you interact with people, as you bump into other human beings, as you walk through creation itself. Faith is something that naturally will be seen by others. Otherwise, it's not really belief. It's just thoughts. Just thoughts. You have a faith. Some of that faith are things that you mentally ascribe to. They are what has classically been called doctrines. And some of us can say some of those, and some of us are even slightly certain about some of those on certain days. And yet, I promise you that whatever those mental ascriptions are in your brain, that's still not faith. They're still just thoughts. If I say I believe in God, the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth, but spend most of my life living as if either I'm God, right, or someone else is the ruler of my life, guess what? I really don't actually believe in God, the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth. It's just a thought in my brain. Faith shapes our lives, our actions. Yes, also our thoughts and our feelings and all of that interior life, but it can't just stay there. Your faith is going to shine one way or another. When Jesus spends these last few weeks with his disciples, one of the things he's trying to get across to them is, you have to go. You can't stay holed up inside of yourself. You can't stay holed up inside of a room. You can't stay holed up inside of a sanctuary. You cannot stay holed up. You have to go. You have to go out into the world. You have to go out into life. You have to go and bump into other human beings. You have got to go out into creation. And as you are doing that, your faith is being lived out And as you are living out that faith, people are either being attracted to that life you're living, or they're being repelled by it. They're either being attracted to it, or they're being repelled by it. We have a word for that attraction part. It's called discipleship. Now, as Presbyterians in 2026, we don't use this word very often. It's a word that you probably heard a lot more about in the 80s. Remember that time? Discipleship was like all the rage back then. Lots and lots of books written about it. And if you grew up in a Pentecostal or Baptist or evangelical tradition, you probably still use the word fairly regularly. But we mainline Protestants dropped that word usage most of the time. We like to use a different word most of the time called formation, which sounds nice and wonderful, and is lots of wonderful things about that word. I use that word on the regular, and yet it misses a piece that the word discipleship has. Because discipleship within itself intrinsically means that you are in relationship with another human being. To be a disciple means that someone is there teaching you, pulling you, sometimes even pushing you towards becoming the person that God created you to be. And it doesn't stop with us following someone. Jesus says, go and make disciples. That word "make's" where we get that word formation from, by the way, right? But disciples, form them, create them, cultivate them, nurture these disciples everywhere you go. Which means faith cannot be private. We have a mandate, a command. God has sent us out into the world to live this life of faith. But as you heard in the Reader's Theater, how many times do you feel confident in living that faith? How many times are you going to mess up, even today? How many times have you messed it up already today? Lots, many, on the regular. Because this faith is still forming us. Because we are still disciples, even as we are discipling and forming other folks. We are becoming. And God does not look at you and ask for perfection. God doesn't look at you and ask for certainty. God does not look at you and ask you to have it all together. In fact, part of our faith is confessing and admitting and saying, I'm sorry, and repenting and asking for compassion, grace, and mercy. It is part of our faith that says, I am still a broken human being. And sometimes that's the most winsome thing that we can actually take into the world. One of the things that I see all the time, particularly Monday through Friday, when I am interacting with folks in the corporate world, is that Monday through Friday, most of you and most of the world is so armored up and has so many facades on that there is zero room out there for real, for broken, for failure. And when people see a human being who can say I was wrong, I didn't do that, who confess up, there's an attraction there that says, I want that. I want to be as authentic as that person is. I want them in my life. That's part of our faith as well. Not being certain, part of our faith. In a world that acts certain when it has absolutely no right to claim that certainty. So what happens when you say, I don't know? What happens when you say, here's what I do know. I am loved, and you are loved. God has mercy on me, and God has mercy on you. God forgives me, and God forgives you. What happens when you make disciples just like that? Because Jesus' second part of that mandate is baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Because it's in baptism that we are claimed just as we are. Imperfect, but beautiful. Not having it all together, but magical and miraculous. It is in the baptismal vows that we hear that we are beloved and that every single person we encounter is the beloved of God. So when we take those baptismal vows out into the world, imagine how they form people. Imagine how it disciples others. And when you're not certain, when the doubts creep in, Jesus says, I am with you always, even until the very, very end. That's faith, friends. It's not private. Sometimes it starts personal, but it will always end up lived in the world. The choir is about to sing something that's going to blow you away about all of this. Brendan, take it away.